that I can be such an inspiration to our youth.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I try. Funny bastard, actually. Funny guy. Hulk Hogan, see you later. Theo, see you later. Chuck Mangione, Chuck Mangione's a big deal. Mangione.
Still hitting out at the Megalomart.
All right. See y'all. I'm West Coast. We're going to do another hour. Everybody else, we'll see you later. Go to GimmeTheVin.com if you'd like to sell your car. Go to GordonBoswellFlowers.com if you want to send somebody that you love or like. The best bouquet available. Not that junk, but the real stuff. It's a little more expensive, but it's the good stuff. Gordon Boswell. You can get all that at jcwshow.com. Just click through. See ya.
We shared each day in love together. We found a way.
And we'll be back with more of the John Clay Wolf Show right after this.
Had its evil way. My heart was blinded.
And the 2-2 pitch. Strike three called. A fastball outside edge.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome into the bullpen on this fine Saturday afternoon in the city of Houston. I am Brian McDonald. That is Cam Smith, John Belmer behind the glass. And that is the only highlight we will play from anyone associated with the Astros. That a strikeout in the first inning of Spencer Arrighetti, because I don't think anything else relevant, guys, happened with the Astros yesterday, right?
Oh, they lost?
Cam, John, I mean, can you fact check me? Nothing else relevant happened with the Astros yesterday, right? It was just the Spencer Arrighetti rehab star for AA Corpus Christi.
Well.
Was there one other thing? Was there something else newsworthy that happened?
There was something else newsworthy that happened at Dyken Park.
The rain. It was really difficult for people to get out. I mean, it was really storming last night.
It was.
Yeah, it really was.
My dog was
You know what it was actually raining, Cam? It was
Astros?
raining home runs. Hit it, Johnny, for Nick Kurtz.
Now he goes inside out, deep to left. Forget about that baseball. Come on. His 20th of the year, make that 39 extra base hits for Kurtz on the year. 0-1 in the air to deep left. Houston, you do have a problem. His name is the Big Amish. 10-2, his second home run of the night. First pitch. Oh, my!
Oh, my goodness. It's unbelievable. This kid is on another planet.
Swing and a drive, deep to left. He's done it 4 times.
What a magical night for the Big Amish.
Recreate the laugh of the color guy there. Oh, first off, what do we think of the nickname the Big Amish?
I like it.
You like it? What about you, Cam? You like the nickname the Big Amish? Yeah, let's go ahead and mute the microphone, boss.
I was rewatching the highlights.
Johnny just played them. Why are you watching?
I wanted to watch them. No, I honestly think that's a very clever name.
It is. Yeah, it is.
I'm assuming that he is Amish.
No, I think he's Baptist. Yeah, I mean,
I was going to say that's hilarious
Amish.
if he was actually Baptist.
The Big Baptist would be a different name.
There's some pretty good nicknames coming out in baseball the last couple.
What are some other ones that pop up to you? I don't know. I guess I don't know which ones you're referring to.
Remember the Big Dumper?
Oh, sure.
And how we talked about if he decided to start sucking, he could be the Little Dumper.
Okay, yeah, he could just be taking big dumpers, and then the nickname would still fit. But yeah, Nick Kurtz, that's the story. The only, I guess, silver lining for me personally, talking selfishly, again, just for me, is he's on my fantasy baseball team, and he had himself a night. You heard the 4 home runs. Yeah, don't shake your head at me, Johnny. Look, hey, at least I got something out of it, right?
Something fishy about the situation.
I also have Jose Altuve in my roster. It's not like I have just AL West foes. Anyway, but Nick Kurtz last night, you heard the 4 home runs there. from the A's broadcast, and which is, I mean, already historic in its own right, because I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I think when we think of rare feats in Major League Baseball, I'm guessing for you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but perfect game would be probably at the top of the list. Like, perfect games are like the rarest of the rare. They're actually more frequent by 4 games than 4 home run outings. There have been, that last night was the 20th 4-game homer in MLB history. There have been 24 perfect games. So what happened last night at Daikin Park, actually, by a decent margin considering the low numbers of both, far more rare than a perfect game.
That makes sense. And I think
he was 5 feet?
I saw
5
that.
feet away from a fifth.
It wasn't even 5 feet.
It
looked like it was half a foot away.
Yeah, you might have just seen it now when you were watching.
I was looking at that. That's crazy that he.
But it was, if you didn't see it, like, it was in the left field power alley where the wall raises up there above the opposing bullpen, and it was on the signage. I mean, maybe a couple of feet short of his 5th home run.
And I think the last 4 home run game that I witnessed was actually what used to be formerly Minute Maid Park. Wasn't it Vinny Castillo when he played with the Astros?
When he played for the Astros.
Yeah.
I remember Vinny Castillo more as a Rocky, but
definitely. But I think he had a 4 home run game.
Might have.
And I
don't
think
remember.
that was the last one. But the thing is like,
I think Bagwell had one way back in the day, either at Cincinnati or Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he might have.
Or maybe it was just a 3 home run game. I know he had a big game on the road to one of those old, like, remember when all the NL Central ballparks were all the copy and paste stadiums? Remember the, like, 3 Rivers and I forget what the name of the Cincinnati one was, but they're all like that same kind of circular. The old Busch Stadium was the same way. It looked like they're all copy and paste, like very cookie cutter. But anyway,
and the crazy thing too is obviously like when you title it Perfect Game, it's gonna sound more like majestical than like a 4 home run game, but.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed. Like, if I hadn't seen the stat that 4 home run games were more rare, I would have guessed that perfect games were again. Like, that's kind of why I set it up that way. Like, perfect game, I had thought was like the most rare feat in baseball.
I would have thought that too, but
apparently not.
I guess it makes more sense that it happens more for perfect games because when you're talking about 4 home runs, there's a lot of times where you're only getting 4 at bats in a game. Whereas like with a perfect game, if you're on a roll, you're not going to get taken out. So you're going to go that distance. But when it comes to at bats, depending on what your team is doing, you might not even get the opportunity to even have 4 at bats. So I think that's why it is a crazier feat to have.
If you're hitting 4 home runs, though, that would presume that you'd be turning the lineup over more because you'd be scoring more runs. But you could also, on the other side of that, say, well, in the case of last night with the A's scoring 15, maybe now it didn't happen with Nick Kurtz, but maybe if you're that far up, you just get taken out of the game because the game is over. So that'd be even if the team is getting more at bats, then maybe you get taken out.
And it wasn't even just the 4 home runs. The fact that he went 6 for 6.
Yeah, let me go on because there's another crazy, some more crazy stats on Nick Kurtz last night. So again, it was the 20th 4th homer game in Major League history. It was the first ever 4 home run game by an A's player, the first ever by a rookie player, and this is the craziest stat of all that I think I've seen on Nick Kurtz's game last night. So I believe this was from Oppie Stats on Twitter. Since RBI became an official stat in 1920, only one Major League Baseball player ever, so we're talking all of them, Ruth, Bonds, Ted Williams, DiMaggio, Pujols, all of them, right?
Griffey,
all of them. Only one player in Major League Baseball history has, over the course of their entire career, either in one game or just like all these things I'm about to give you, they don't have to have necessarily done them in one game. They just have to have done all these individual things once over the entire course of their career. And again, we're talking all of Major League history, right? So only one Major League player has had, over the course of his entire career, same game or not, a game with 4+ homers, a game with 5+ extra base hits, a game with 6 hits, a game with 6 runs, and a game with 8 RBI. One player ever. And it was Nick Kurtz last night.
Against your Houston Astros. In Houston.
Against, I was about to put it all on Ryan Gusto, but he wasn't the only one that got him. Because the Astros got to a point where they put Cooper Humble in a pitcher because it had gotten that bad. But look, I wish I could tell you that was the last time we'd see Ryan Gusto as a starter this year. But because of the injuries, we unfortunately added another one to the list, making it number 18, Brandon Walter, who I think we spent a large portion of last week talking about. Like, hey, look, he's your third starter. The Astros got a guy. They pulled him out of nowhere, and he's hurt. And like it's that South Park gif, and it's gone. Like Brandon Walter's on the injury list now. But so I wish I'd be able to tell you that Ryan Gusto wasn't going to start again for the Houston Astros, but he's probably going to. Either him or Jason Alexander will have to, because even though yeah, George Costanza, we've all made the jokes, but Ryan Gusto, I mean, 3 1/3, 8 hits, 1 walk, 8 earned runs last night. These season stats now, Cam and John, up to 5.18 on his ERA and 1.48 for his WHIP. Just both absolutely brutal. Honestly, I don't even really want him in the bullpen because, I mean, they gave up 3 runs in the first last night, and now you're going to put this guy in a 1-inning role? Like, is that any better? I know people kind of at times hang on to, well, he's got pretty good stuff. Maybe he has the best stuff of that trio of him, Colton Gordon, and Brandon Walter, but stuff or not, it ain't working. I mean, you could have said the same thing about Josh James back in the day. You could have said the same thing about Zeke Estacio back in the day. Oh, he's got stuff.
Wow.
And then Jeff Blum takes him deep in the 14th inning.
Okay, you pulled that one out.
Yeah.
Another Coloradian. Or Rocky.
But like, so this Brandon Walter injury, like, unfortunately, because even when you get, I think Spencer Arrighetti is back next week in the major league roster as a part of the rotation. But because of this Brandon Walter injury, I mean, you have Fromber, you have Hunter, you're adding Arrighetti. I mean, I don't see how you get through the rotation without having to, because then you have Colton Gordon, obviously. There's 4. But until you get Christian Javier back or Brandon Walter returns, like, I don't see how you can't avoid pitching either Jason Alexander or Ryan Gusto. I'm guessing it'll be Ryan Gusto, which ain't good. But like, I don't know. I like this team. I think we spent part of last week talking about why hitting was the bigger need, and it still is a huge need. But these injuries might kind of force the Astros' hands to do both.
Oh, without a doubt. If they're gonna stay in first place and make a playoff run, they have to go out and trade for a pitcher.
Now
there's no way
the
around
lead remained 5 games because the Mariners did you favor and they lost also. So at least the Astros have that going for them. And look, despite what it sounded like sky is falling for the most of the first 9 minutes of the show, they're still, Cam, 2 games behind the Blue Jays for the best record in all of baseball. And remember how hot the Tigers were? They're a half game up on the Tigers.
They've lost 11 out of 12.
Yeah. So, I mean, sky is falling, second best team in the American League.
Yeah,
there has to be a balance, I think, in how we talk about it, because even though there's a lot of things to be worried about, like, there's still, I think I saw from Buster Only, there's still like a 93% odds to make the playoffs. Like, it's still a great position to be in as far as their record goes and making the playoffs, even though everything feels bad because of the injuries.
Yeah, but the thing is like I feel like we're past the point of like, all right, we know it's Seattle. Until Seattle shows us something, it is what it is. But it's just like, for me, it's you make this move not to keep first place in the division. You have to make a move if you want to do anything in the playoffs.
Yeah, like if the Astros hypothetically were to take the current roster to a postseason series, they'd be one and done like they were last year.
I think I would.
And that's not a slide on. I mean, I'm not saying they'd have no chance because let's say it's the wild card round and it's a best of 3. You throw Fromber Hunter, you got a pretty good chance. But my bet would be they're one and done like last year against the Tigers. If they take if they had to hypothetically, and I don't think they will because I think they're getting back, Arrighetti, Javier, Pena, Jake Myers.
Yeah.
Cross all your fingers on Yordan Alvarez. Like, I think they're going to get guys back. But if they had to take this roster into the postseason, like, I don't see how I would pick them against another playoff team.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like, with everything that they've had to deal with and overcome, losing in the first round, I almost feel like it wouldn't be like, I don't feel like I'd be upset because of everything they've had to deal with. But at the same time,
I'd be disappointed
with what they've accomplished, with how much they've had to overcome. That's why I want to see them keep pushing and see what they can do, because this is a really weird season. Like, I'm not sure I've seen a season like this with the Astros before. Like, we've obviously seen them with injuries, but the fact that they're 60 and 44 with 18 guys,
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how you word it. Like, I'd be disappointed. I wouldn't be mad if they, because, like, okay, if we're still living in this hypothetical world where they take the current roster into the playoffs, I would understand why they're one and done.
I'd be disappointed because we wouldn't see them play again.
Record in, and at one point in July, very briefly, they had the best record in the American League.
Facts.
So, like, I mean, I could not be disappointed in a team that had the best record of baseball in the second half of the season, not making it past the first round. But I would understand it, again, in a hypothetical world where you're taking this roster into the playoffs. But let's carry this over to the other side and talk about how and hopefully why they don't take this current roster into the postseason and what that means going forward for the Astros. That when the bullpen returns, and give us a call or a text if you want to weigh in as well. HRP listener line always open, 713-780-3776. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmore with you here on ESPN Radio. Don't go anywhere.
This is The Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back into The Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer here with you. You can join in the conversation. Hit us up, either text or phone call on the HRP listener line, 713-780-3776. You can also find us on Twitter or X if you're old, or if you're going with the new logo, whatever.
If you're old,
yeah, like I think old people will be like, I'm throwing myself in this, so this is really a self insult. But I think old people would be more likely to call it Twitter, whereas the like Gen Z and younger would be more likely to adapt and call it X.
I'm sorry, I still say Twitter.
Yeah, I know.
I do too.
See,
yeah.
I think I think definitely 35 plus. I think we're calling it Twitter. I think 25 or under, you're more likely to call it X, and then there's like a no man's land where anything goes.
Yeah, it's just weird saying just one letter.
It is. Let's be real. Twitter is better than the name
it's a better name. Yeah, it's a better name. But you can find us on Twitter, because I'm an old, I'll call it Twitter. I'm at Sackback BMac. Cam is at Clutch City Cam, and Johnny is at Third Coast Johnny.
Do you still say HBO Max?
Well, it is going back to HBO Max, right?
What? They're switching it
hear
again?
That?
Yeah, they're changing it again.
They're switching it again.
Oh,
no joke.
Oh, Lord.
No joke, yeah. No.
Just as I was getting down, just saying Max.
It was so stupid because they bought the Discovery, and that's when they combined it, I guess, to make it Max. And I don't know. It's a whole thing, but It feels like, not to get too sidetracked in a tangent, but it feels like the streaming is becoming like the idea of cutting the cord to be a streaming person feels like it's been completely like the advantage is no longer there. It feels like like when you add up all the subscription services, you're paying just as much as you were for cable back in the day,
Pretty much,
if not more. So
I am.
Anyway, there's always a way that we're going to lose money, but the Astros could lose some money if they go out and add somebody. I'm trying to think. No, that wasn't a great transition. Well, they lose money as far as they have to pay out more. You know what transition was? I'll give it a C-. What do you think, Johnny? What about that transition?
I would have said C+, C-, somewhere
okay.
in that C range.
All right. So the question for this segment, if you have thoughts, please weigh in. Again, HRMP listener line 713-780-3776. But I was reading the Jeff Passan piece from ESPN where he talked about, each team's needs, like the most likely free agent to go to them. He had Cedric Mullins from the outfielder from the Orioles, which hard pass. He hasn't been good since 2021, and his numbers past the month of April this year are absolutely dreadful, like Jose Abreu level. So hard pass on that. But one of the other designations that he put on each team would be kind of their status as to how aggressive they would be at the trade deadline. And he had the Astros as buyers, as looking to add, but not all in. And I thought that was an interesting thought from Passan, because, in part because I don't agree. Interested to see what you guys say. Like, to me, I guess I get where Passan's coming from, in that the Astros might believe with getting Jordan back, cross your fingers, Jeremy Pena, Jake Myers, the pitchers we talked about with Arrighetti, with Christian Javier, maybe Luis Garcia, maybe JP France. Maybe they could talk themselves into, hey, we already have the second best record in the American League. You get those guys back. Why have to make all those moves? But the other side of it, to me, that I would put them in the category of should going quote unquote all in, is that, one, you don't know what these guys will come back as. We don't know that Jordan will come back. We don't know if I don't really feel that we even know if Paredes will come back. That hamstring, from what the Astros have said and how optimistic they typically are, and the fact that they're willing to call it severe, leads me to believe his hamstring injury is pretty damn severe.
What's after severe?
Dead, I think.
Damn. So
yeah.
he's close to that then.
Yeah, yeah.
Good Lord.
I think there's better odds that he's dead than he's back before September. I'll put it that way. I'll put it that way if he's like Paredes. But so, one, you don't know what you're getting back. I mean, Jordan has talked about how he's not going to be fully 100% this entire year. You don't know what you're getting with him. You don't know if you're getting Isaac Paredes, or if he comes back, what state he's in. And Spencer Arrighetti, I feel pretty good about. It was just a thumb, so he should be somewhere close to the full version of himself. But the other guys, specifically with Javier and Luis Garcia, they're coming off of Tommy John, so you don't know what they're going to be like. When they first come back, are they fully the guys we saw before the injuries, or what version? Like, are they 80% themselves? Or are they 90% themselves? So you don't know what you're getting with those guys coming back. The other side of it, as to why I would say the Astros should be all in, is because when you look at the rest of the landscape, you talked about the Tigers losing at 11 out of 12. Like, I get the Blue Jays are hot, but I don't really believe in the Blue Jays as serious World Series contenders. The Yankees have been ice cold over the last couple of months. Like, I look at the landscape of the American League, and even with the Astros dealing with injuries and kind of a cold stretch post-Dodgers series, I still feel like, if you either get guys back or you equip them with other pieces added through the trade deadline, you're still in a position to be the best roster in the American League with the best odds to make the World Series in the American League. So I think it'd be a shame for Jim Crane to pass on the opportunity of being able to get back to a World Series on the hope that he gets these guys back from the injury list and they're 100% ready to go.
Yeah, and if I may,
you may.
Thank you. It's interesting because even though we're kind of slumping, if you look at all the top contenders, nobody's playing well. Like, Yankees 4-6 last 10, Red Sox 5-5, the Rays 3-7, Detroit 1-9, Kansas City.
Yeah, they're on the fringe. Yeah,
and then even Seattle's 5-5 too. So it's like,
right,
at least this is happening while everybody else is struggling. And the crazy thing too is, and I know we never really talk about the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are absolutely struggling
Milwaukee's
too.
kicked their ass right before the All-Star break and then after. So yeah, that's kind of how I kind of feel like. I guess it depends upon how you define all in. Like, I'm not saying like trade your entire top 10 as far as your prospects. I'm not saying that, but I wouldn't be at a point where like I'm crossing off names at the top of my prospect list because like I don't like I hope Crane and everyone involved, Dana Brown, views this roster as a roster worth going all in because this team has, through all the adversity they've gone through, shown a capability to win far beyond what we expected. Like, I think even if fully healthy, I don't think a lot of us thought they would be first place by 5 games and 2 games out of the best record in the American League. Even fully healthy, because I think people's expectations were lowered after losing Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman. So the fact that they've overcome all of that, then on top of that, overcome 18 guys on the injured list, and they're 2 games out of the best record in the American League, and they're getting guys back. Like, why would I think the time to seize? Like, the time is now to seize an opportunity to jump and make your best bid for another trip to the World Series, because the rest of the American League, to me, is falling off, and the Astros, if you add the right pieces, could absolutely run away with the American League pennant.
Oh, yeah. And like, to your point, like, you can go all in without going all in on, like, a trade. Like, it's not like you have to go get, like, the top.
Yeah, just add
top guy.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying go after I don't know who the top hitter. Well, the top, like, we talked Gene Suarez from the Diamondbacks, and that was one of the rumors that came out from Francis Romero. Apparently, the Astros are interested in Suarez. Like, I think the Astros could get it done. Some people will say, well, they don't have the prospects. I think they have enough to get one deal done. But what you're alluding to, I'd rather them take what they have and spread that out over a few things.
Yeah.
Because part of what's killing them now is the depth, right? They're having to call up half of the AAA roster to supplement everyone they've lost to the injured list.
We're literally watching the Space Cowboys.
Yeah, at least half of them, right? So it'd be nice to, instead of taking one player and adding it to the roster and spending all your capital on one guy, let's send 3 or 4 guys back down to AAA and put some major league players in their place. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to cut you off at the end. I think I'm with you, though, because you're also, like, I think the big splash would be fine, but you're going to give up a lot to go get Suarez. But if you go and divvy that up and get little splashes, you're also going to get, hopefully, Jordan back. Hopefully, you're going to get Pena back. You're going to get some of these guys back that you don't have to go get the big, you don't have to go get the big stick. Same thing with pitching. You're hopefully going to get Christian Javier back and maybe Luis Garcia back. Like, you're going to get those resources that you already had back, and it's going to feel like you made the big splash anyways.
Yeah, that quote will be coming. Like, whenever Jordan comes back, I guarantee you either Joe Espada or Dana Brown's like, hey, it's just like we acquired Jordan Alvarez at the trade deadline. That line is coming. But yeah, I mean, I agree with that, because I do think you get some of those pieces back. Like, I think you get Pena back. You get Jake Myers back. I 100% believe you're getting Javier and Arrighetti back. Jordan, we'll see. Paredes, we'll see. But I think the best way to attack this with the assets they have is to go after, instead of one 10 out of 10 player, go after, 3 or 4, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 players. So you're not having to play the 3 out of 10 guy from AAA, right? Like, this roster is so depleted with injuries and spread out. Then I don't know. I would hate to see the one splash, because you brought this up during the break with Suarez. The other part of the big splash move, especially if it's Suarez, like, when fully healthy, you get Paredes and Jordan back, you have a real log jam there. Now, it's a good problem to have, but you have a real log jam there. So let's say you want to play Suarez the third, where he plays right now with the Diamondbacks. Okay, so what are you doing at first base? Now you're choosing either between Paredes or Walker. I mean, Walker, even though he's gotten hot in the summer, I think people say, well, just send him to the bench. That's fine. But then you can't really play them at DH because Jordan needs to play. Like, it'd be hard to get all of those bats in the lineup at once.
And that's the thing too. It's not like there's a huge need at one position. There's just a lot of little.
I would disagree there. Well, okay, I would disagree if you're quantifying it as bat. Like, if you're quantifying as one specific position, I don't know, man. Dubon's playing third right now. Like, I know we all like Dubon, but he's not a third baseman. He's got no pop.
But that's the trick.
Sorry?
That's the tricky one because what you just mentioned with Paredes, it's like, yeah, you do have a need at third base right now, but like, how easy is it to fix it when you have Paredes coming back? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I feel like this is just a season where if you, like you said, 3 or 4 small splashes makes more sense than trying to just make one huge splash. With
Because I mean, right now we're talking about your rotation consists of Hunter Brown and Fromber, who you feel great about. You're probably getting Arrighetti back next week, so you feel pretty good about that. Colton Gordon's, he's okay. Now we have to. I mean, you don't want to pitch Ryan Gusto, you don't want to pitch Jason Alexander, and we don't know the status of Brandon Walter going forward. And obviously, Lance, I think, is on his fake injured list until further notice.
Oh, God.
Like, there's a couple. I think in an ideal world, you would be able to go 6-man to try to save some innings on Hunter Brown, and you've got like 3.5 spots you feel good about in the rotation. So I think there's a need there. There's obviously a need at third base with Paredes hurt, and I think we're talking mid-September before he's really back. You could say there's depending on where Altuve's playing, there's a need at second base. We'll see what Bryce Matthews is able to make to erase that need. But even if he is, there's a need in the outfield because you're starting guys like Cooper. You're putting like guys like Cooper Hummel out there. Like there's just too many. There's too many AAA players on the major league roster to, in my opinion, only make one move. If you made the move for Gene Suarez, you're only making one move. You don't have the prospects to make a bunch of moves. So
no.
I'd like to add, a left-handed bat in the outfield, a serviceable third baseman, a starting pitcher that can be like your 4-starter, and then a guy that like a right-handed relief pitcher who can kind of complement Brian King in that 6th, 7th inning role.
Yeah.
That's kind of the spread the assets out, attack everything mode I would like to. We'll see if Dana Brown goes that way, or maybe he makes a big splash. We know Jim Crane loves to make this big splash. I mean, obviously Jose Abreu was the top first. Now it didn't work out, but Jose Abreu was the top first baseman on the market that year. Christian Walker, the same with him. We obviously know he spent record money for Josh Hader. So Jim Crane has a track record of going big splash over little moves, but I think little moves is the way to go. If I can quickly, I'll throw out 2 names. Now, I think one of these would require not Gene Suarez assets going out, but it wouldn't qualify as a little splash as far as what the Cardinals would want. But I'd really like to see them go out and try to get Brendan Donovan, their second baseman. He's having a Cardinals.
He's on the Cardinals, right?
Yeah. He's on I thought you were questioning me if it was Cardinal.
Oh, no.
Because Stanford's the Stanford Cardinal because their name is a color, not the bird. But okay, you were saying he's on the Cardinals.
He is a Cardinal.
Yeah, Cardinals. Now we're getting in the weeds. But he's having a career year. He's hitting 284 right now with an OPS plus of 118. I'm sorry, that was his career slash line. Right now he's hitting 296 with a 123 OPS, and he has 2 years of team control after this season. Now, I think he's probably costing you, a top 4 prospect plus. So, I mean, it might be Bryce Matthews plus something else. So that would be pretty expensive. The other name I'd like to add would be David Bednar. That'd be the right-handed relief pitcher option there. He of the Pirates, who had a down season last year, but overall for his career has been really good. He's been back to being really good this year. And he has another year of team control after this season as well. So, like, if the Astros went out, got, David Bednar, Brendan Donovan, plus, let's say, an outfield bat, I'd be ecstatic.
I love the Donovan idea because he can also play. He's played.
I know he's played multiple infield positions. I don't remember how much he's played each one, but you're right.
But he's
played multiple infield spots.
He's essentially a better and younger Dubon.
He's definitely better. Yeah. Well, he's definitely better as a hitter. I think Dubon's a plus defensive player. He's got the Gold Glove to prove it. But I would. I mean, obviously, Brendan Donovan's a much better offensive player. Look, we all love Dubon for his versatility. But I mean, let's be honest. He's not a plus as a hitter. No. He's not. Like, his OPS plus proves it. Like, the average is for Major League Baseball is 100, and he's rarely over that. He's usually like 84 to 95. Like, he's a minus offensive player. So if we could put him back in the spot of being that super utility who just fills in basically everywhere but catcher, when the guys need a day off, then great. But him being in the lineup every day, especially at third base, which is a power position, is a detriment to the lineup.
Absolutely.
So, all right. On the other side of the break, we might get in some more Astros, maybe some Texans as well before we make room for what Mount Rushmore plus one at 1:30 and a news segment coming up at 1 o'clock. That being the Island of Relevancy. That when the Bullpen returns, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is The Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. The Bullpen here on a fine Saturday afternoon in Houston. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer with you here until 2 o'clock. So just less than an hour and a half to go. Talking Astros and Nick Kurtz's just historic game yesterday, because not much to talk about on the Astros side other than guys coming back from injury and guys they might trade for. That's what there is to talk about with the Astros. But some text coming into the HRMP listener line. You can call us or text us as well if you'd like to weigh in on what we're talking about. 713-780-3776. Again, on the HRMP listener line. From 0861, Rocky, Crane, and Brown should be ashamed we can't beat the Sacramento A's. We're going to lose first place because we can't even beat atrocious teams. Now, I get the reaction because you got, 5-2 on Thursday. It didn't feel that close because it was 5-0. The Astros got it tacked on a couple, late in the 7th, 8th inning. So I get the reaction because then you also give up 15 runs on Friday night, but I think that's an overreaction. It feels bad. I know the Mariners got Josh Naylor. I don't think that does much for them. I mean, he's a good player, but their ballpark's so hard to hit at anyway. I don't think that's a move the needle type of move for them to suddenly save their offense outside of Kyle Riley. So, I think that's an overreaction. What is your confidence? I guess where is your confidence now, still, right now, Cam, with the Astros holding on to the division and make them playoffs?
I mean, it's at where it was a week ago.
Yeah, I don't think much has changed for me.
I feel like I mentioned this last week. We've seen them notoriously the last couple of years play down to their opponent. This is nothing new.
I don't know if they were playing down to their opponent though the last couple of games, just because who they're throwing out there, pitching. When you're throwing out Ryan Gusto as your starter, I don't I get you're saying because you're right. Historically, they have done that. We remember 2 years ago where they lost like a series to like the Royals and the A's and got swept and everything in September. That year they couldn't win at home.
Yeah.
I think that was 2023. But last night, and some of these other losses recently aren't about playing down to the competition. It's about 18 guys on the injured list, and you're having to throw Ryan Gusto.
Which is exactly why my level is still where it's at.
Yeah,
if they were fully healthy, I'd be like,
oh, if they were fully healthy and the A's were putting them on them like they did the last 2 days, then that would be a reason for concern. I think the reason for concern would be if you don't think anyone's coming back and you don't think the Astros will make any moves. I don't think both of those things will be true.
Me either.
So we will see. Another text coming in from 1509. Why are the Astros on the wrong side of sports history? The Kerry Wood game comes to mind. What do y'all recall? It does feel like that in the moment. I'm trying
to the 20
strikeout game. That's going back to what, 98, 99?
That's going way back.
It's going way back, yeah. I mean, every team's going to have those moments. I mean, how many teams could recently say about we seem to be on the wrong side because the Astros threw a no-hitter against us? Because the Astros, like more than any other team since they came into Major League Baseball in the 60s, just throw no-hitters at a crazy rate.
Yeah, can you imagine being the opponent that
Ronel Blanco,
that Mike the Rat fires through a no-hitter against?
Ronel Blanco was a 30-year-old nobody prospect.
Yeah.
His first start of the season last year throws a no-hitter. Like, I get it feels bad in the moment, but if we're talking about Nick Kurtz in 2025 and then going all the way back to Kerry Wood in like 98, 97, I think that's, again, overreactions happen when the team gets bludgeoned like they did last night, but I think it's an overreaction. Another text coming in from 1429. Paredes to second if we get Suarez. I was anticipating that take because that was a take in the preseason or during spring, that is. Remember when Alex Bregman wasn't signed yet and people were like, oh, they could still, like the rumors were starting to come out like, oh, the Astros aren't, completely out on Bregman. They might get Bregman back too. And the idea was, well, move Paredes to second. Like, I think we've seen from not only Paredes' body type, but the way he moves in the field, like he's a quality third baseman. He does not have the range to play second base.
And I get that
I don't want to say zero.
That he can, but he's got first baseman before second baseman.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. To me, he's first base, third base, DH. I'm not saying you couldn't stick him out there and maybe get away with it against bad teams, but if you had like Fromber or Hunter Brown on the mound who get ground balls at a good rate, like I would not want an infield with Isaac Paredes playing up the middle with his range. So I would have to be out on that. So other things with the Astros, unfortunately, I think for your namesake, I think the hope of Rookie of the Year was over. I don't know if you remember about a month ago when Cam Smith got his average up to 281. People were starting to climb on board with the idea that Cam Smith could win Rookie of the Year. Now, certainly, I mean, Nick Kurtz might have just completely – we might as well just write his name, in ink right now on Rookie of the Year. And if it's not him, it might be his teammate Jacob Wilson. But Cam Smith struggling. He had one hit last night, which was nice. The first inning he got on base with a hit there. But last 21 games, Cam Smith's hitting .216 with a on-base percentage and slugging percentage, both sub 300, so not ideal, and 30 strikeouts, which maybe 30 strikeouts in 21 games. I mean, I know it sounds bad, but when you put it in the context of a 162 game pace, buckle up, because if you put that over 162 game pace, which is, again, 30 strikeouts in his last 21 games, that would pace out to be 231.4. The MLB record for strikeouts in a season is 223 by Mark Reynolds. So Cam Smith, last 21 games, is striking out at a rate that would break the Major League Baseball record.
He's pulling a real Chris Carter.
Yeah. Pulling there's lots of guys in Astros history. Pulling a real John Singleton. I don't know. We could pull out a lot of guys out.
Thank God he's not going to play 162 games.
No, no, he's not. But yeah, look, again, how far is he removed now from playing? This is the most popular thing we said forever. Like, how far is he removed from playing with Florida State in the College Baseball World Series? It's still not that far. So this is not. I'm not saying this at all to panic. I'm mostly pointing it out. Like, these are the ebbs and flows you would expect from not only a rookie but a player with his experience. So don't freak out, but also don't expect that hot stretch that we saw in June to be his new norm. Like, this is going to continue for a while where I don't want to use the name Jalen Green because Jalen Green implies it'll continue for 4 seasons. But it's like you're going to have some hot streaks. You're going to have some cold streaks. This is life with a rookie.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Look, in the beginning of the year, he had his struggles because he had just got called up. He had never seen Major League action. Normal. Then he went on a little bit of a hot streak because he started seeing the ball and he was developing. Now it's like at that point of time where pitchers are starting to kind of figure him out a little bit. All he's got to do is just
they adjust back. Now he's got to adjust.
Now he's just got to adjust. I mean, again, he what? How old? 20? 21?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fresh out of college, obviously.
This is going to happen, especially with somebody who played as little as he did in the minor league system.
Yeah, 5 games above the single A level. So, I think just kind of putting a bow on the Astros. Like, I think the silver lining, unless you also, like me, have Nick Kurtz on your fantasy team, then there's multiple silver linings. Because
I do not have Nick.
Not to pat myself on the back too hard there, but I've got Nick Kurtz on my fantasy team. Went pretty well last night, hitting 4 bombs.
So happy for you.
Little annoyed that he didn't have. Can I be a bad fan for a second? Hopefully you guys won't judge me.
I'm gonna judge you.
I know. I feel like Johnny's definitely gonna judge me. Johnny always judges me.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
That's
I
his.
do.
That's Johnny's default setting. Like that's his default setting to judge me.
And we can't hear him. Can you imagine how much trash talk he
I
has
know.
behind the glass
Like in his mind, like how
yeah.
much bleep he's talking in his mind. We only hear 10% of this bleep he wants to say to us. No, but okay, I'll be a bad fan for a second if you'll excuse me. If the Astros are gonna like get bludgeoned, like just give me the 5th home run. Like give me the fantasy points, right?
I mean, I can't
give me a couple extra fantasy points.
They're already down 13 runs.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm not sure I could.
Yeah, like,
I'm not sure I could actually be mad at
you. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like if it was a close game, I'd be strike him out. But hey, you're gonna lose anyway.
Some may say that makes you a bad like local fan, but I think that makes you a good sports fan in general. Like I agree with you. Give me the 5th home run. I'd rather see history if we're gonna get our ass whooped anyways.
It's not just my fantasy
If
team.
it was
I also
like-
want to see history.
If it was like a playoff game or like
of course.
For I don't know how this would ever happen if the A's were actually like doing a playoff push, then I'd be like, Brian, that's ridiculous. But,
but
the A's are 44.
The A's are out. The A's are out of it, right? The A's are out of it. The game was already locked, already over. It's not a playoff game. Like if this was a playoff game, if this game was 10-10 in the 10th inning, something like that, I'm like strike them out. Of course, I'm not rooting for my fantasy team or history over the Astros. I'm just saying, like in a case where you're going to lose anyway, like I kind of wanted to see the 5th home run, and we were almost there, man. He was so close. That man. Johnny asked this question to us during the break, and I'm just gonna make a quick comment, and you can weigh in, and we'll go to break. But like, it feels like the A's, whenever they get to Sacramento, which I think is 2 more seasons after this, not to Sacramento, sorry, to Vegas. They're in Sacramento now. But it feels like, this offense with Kurtz and Jacob Wilson, with Brent Rooker, their center fielder. I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head. Help me out, Johnny. I know you know it. The center field. No, well, maybe Cam said the name of the center fielder that's always robbing people.
I mentioned it, but I don't know his name.
Oh, okay. I thought you said his name.
I'm
Anyway,
pulling it. It's funny how on the team page, every team has the city in front of it, and it's just athletics.
Yeah, just athletics. Yeah, just athletics.
Center fielder, you say?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing.
Denzel Clark.
No, that's
Lawrence
not
Butler.
There we go. Lawrence Butler. That's the name.
I thought it was Denzel Clark.
Okay, maybe Lawrence Butler's playing a different position, but Lawrence Butler was the offensive player I was thinking of. Yeah, Langoliers, you got Soderstrom. They've got a lot of offensive pieces. Between Langoliers, Soderstrom, Jacob Wilson, Kurtz, Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker, like that is potentially a really good offense within a year or two. Now, their pitching has been atrocious. I know Severino dominated them the other night, but he had a 5.10 ERA coming into that game, and he was their big free agent signing. They signed him to like a 3-year deal. I don't think they have any pitching, at least major league ready. But that is potentially a very dangerous offense, really already, but especially in a year or two once these guys get some more seasoning.
Yeah, but it reminds me of the Angels years ago when they had all that offensive firepower, but the pitching was absolutely atrocious. And
Mike Trout still never won. Not even a playoff series. Mike Trout has still never won a playoff game.
Yeah,
one of the craziest things in all sports. All right. Other side of the break, when we get back here on the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5, we will talk some Texans, give out some bets and more. That when the Bullpen returns again, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back in ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5, and we've had a bit of a change to the card. Card is always subject to change. All wrestling fans know that. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer, we're with you here on the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. We might have a reason to panic, Cam. You just saw some news. I think it's been more. Ian Rappaport is reporting this as well. So is Jonathan Alexander from the Chronicles. So this is not a one where we can say, well, maybe it's just one guy with a bad source. But what'd you see? I believe it was from Jordan Schultz.
Yeah, per Cameron Smith, Jordan Schultz.
Okay. Oh, we got multiple layers here.
Yes.
Is this a Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott thing?
100% the route I went.
All right.
Thank you for catching that.
You're welcome.
Sources, hashtag Texans Pro Bowl running back Joe Mixon will miss multiple weeks of spring training with the hopes of being able to return for week 1.
Hold on. Who? That was Jordan Schultz?
Correct.
He called it spring training? Or did you misread it?
Oops.
Okay.
I got baseball on the mind. My apologies.
It ain't spring, brother. It's way too hot to call it spring right now.
Training camp.
Okay. All right. I'm just making sure, because I was going to bag on Jordan Schultz if he called it spring training. And again, Ian Rappaport, Jonathan Alexander from the Chronicles. So I would consider this official at this point. This is not just one guy with what we could have hoped for to be a possibly incorrect source. So this is interesting, Cam, and I don't want to, flip on the panic alarm when we're, in July still. It's not even August. The Hall of Fame game hasn't even happened, which again is Thursday. Football is close, folks.
Must-see TV Chargers.
Chargers never must see.
There's nothing else to watch on a Thursday.
Must see?
I think I could find something on Netflix.
I must see.
What do I need to turn on that game for to watch
Gilmore
Justin Herbert throw 4 interceptions?
Sir, he's not going to play.
Okay, so his backup throws 8? No, I'm kidding. Maybe. I don't know. It's
possible.
It's possible. I don't know. Is Nick Kurtz on the other team? Anyway.
Oh, God.
But, yeah, this is weird because, look, Joe Mixon, there's always going to be concerns with a guy like Joe Mixon because of his age, because of the workload he's had. Like, he will be 29 before the season starts. So you're already starting at, I don't know where you put the panic alarm for a 29-year-old running back, but it's already elevated, right? You're already working at an elevated, like, this could go really wrong because he's either at or very near an age cliff as far as NFL production at that age and specifically that position. But yeah, to that, like, he was in a walking boot this summer. So we're already kind of like, all right, he's going to be 29. He's in a walking boot. We know what happened last year with the multiple horse collar tackles that cost him games. Like, could this be something lingering from that? But then the news was, hey, he's feeling great. Everything's fine. He'll be ready to go. But then he starts he misses the first couple of practices at training camp. So we're obviously now raising the suspicion alarm back up. And they tell us, oh, he's on the non-football related injury list. So I think everyone kind of eased off. It's like, I even said on the Killer Bees, and I think Jeremy and Joel kind of speculated similar things like this. At that time, we thought, okay, well, maybe this is just a 29-year-old running back getting some veteran days because they don't want to overwork him before the season.
Yeah,
like you don't want to add shots to him. You don't want to add take tread off the tire before you really need him. But now, with this report, again, from 1,000 different places, including Ian Rappaport, they're saying that he's expected to be out this is the quote from Rappaport, he's expected to be out an extended period of time with a, quote, frustrating foot injury, sources say. I don't like either of those sentences. And the idea that he was on the non-injury, quote-unquote, football list a few days ago, only to find out he's got a, quote, frustrating injury that'll cost him extended time, it's kind of giving me Astros vibes, and I do not like that.
Nope. Very sketchy.
Is Joe Mixon's foot the new Jordan's hand? 713-780-3776.
Intriguing.
Anyway, I said a lot of things there, Cam. What do you think about this news?
It's a little concerning. And the thing was
1 to 10. 10, you're terrified.
Ooh.
I'm at like 6.5 or a 7.
But I'm
I'm not terrified, but I think this is more than nothing, and I think it's a problem.
And I think a lot of it for me goes into the fact that, look, we've seen what Nick Chubb can do when he's healthy, but it has been a long time since Nick Chubb has been fully healthy. And if that is your guy going into the season, boy.
Yeah, because it wasn't pretty last year. Of course, 2 years ago, he has just absolutely devastating knee injury. I think in week 2 of the season in 2023. It was pretty early in the year. He comes back for a short amount of time last year, and he just did not look the same. I'm pulling up his stats here because I know his per carry average. Yeah, so Nick Chubb is, I found it, but Nick Chubb, let me read you off these. See if you notice where the drop off happens, Cam. I'm going to give you, John, see if you can spot where the drop off happens. Where the point of this is post injury for Nick Chubb. I'm going to read you his yards per carry throughout his career: 5.19, 5.01, 5.62, 5.52, 5.05, 6.07, 3.25.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. There's the problem.
That's a huge drop.
I think I found it.
Too many crickets.
It dropped in, not completely in half, but from 2023 now it's 2 games. But it really wasn't that far beyond like his normal statistical norms. But it went from 6.07 to 3.25. That's coming off a catastrophic knee injury, fairly similar to Tank Dell, although Tank Dell's a little bit worse because he also had the kneecap thing. But then Nick Chubb, he came back. He averaged 3.25 for a little while. Then he hurt his foot again. So it does point out, though, like I would agree with your concern. Like, man, if Mixon's not good, like we know what Chubb is, because Chubb also is not a young running back. He's, I believe, the same. Yeah, he's 29 also. So he's actually older than Mixon by a little bit, because Mixon will be 29, I believe. He just turned 29. He just turned 29.
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Joe Mixon.
What a present.
What a present. But I think this does point out, despite our concerns about how efficient or effective Nick Chubb will be, I think this does completely give us a tell on why the Texans decided to spend decent money on a backup running back.
It's almost like they
knew.
Coming.
Well, yeah, which makes this whole thing so very Astros to me, because to recount the timeline if you're just joining us, is Joe Mixon now with a frustrating foot injury will miss, quote, extended time in training camp. But that is coming off of a timeline in the offseason where he's wearing a walking boot, but then they tell us he's fine. He misses the first couple practices of training camp, but they tell us, oh, it's the non-injury list. Oh, and now he's actually out extended amount of time with a frustrating injury that seems to, speculating here, kind of directly correlate to the injuries he suffered last season with multiple foot injuries due to the horse collar tackles he suffered. So, look, I definitely think the Texans knew more than they told us, which is always the case. I'm not going to kill him for that, but it does feel very Astros-y to mislead us to the point of saying he's fine and put him on the non-football injury-related injury list, when in fact he had an injury that they seem to have known ahead of time was going to be a problem.
Yeah, like just be up front with it.
Yeah,
like it.
Maybe they saw the Astros. He's like, these Astros. It's kind of like the Drake meme, where he's pointing at one thing and turning his hand on the other. It's like, tell the media the truth. Nah. Lie to the media, tell everything's fine. That's the one we're gonna do. Yes. We need a Drake meme for that with the Astros and the Texans right now.
Thank God we have the truthful Rockets.
I don't know. They were pretty untruthful when with what they said about Jalen Green and Rafael Stone's press conference right after the season ended. They said he was their future, and then they traded him.
That wasn't an injury, though. That wasn't an injury.
It wasn't an injury.
Jalen was hurt by it, but we were not.
Yeah. Man, this sucks. All our pets' heads are falling off. I don't know what to say about it, man. It's just disappointing. All right, let's have some fun on the other side of the break. New segment, the Island of Relevancy. That when the bullpen returns, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Houston, acknowledge me. It is time
Hello.
to see. God, why'd you have to go on when it can? We're look at Johnny back there. Hello. God. We cancel the segment, Johnny. Just cancel the segment. We're now ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. You want to go to break, Johnny? We'll just redo this. We'll just redo this, and then we'll go long. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for going through that and selling it. And look at Johnny saw the music going too. See, that's pro work there. Well done, Johnny. You sold through my fake deek there and everything. All right, so Island of Relevancy. This is basically, I think I explained it to you guys as this already, but think of this as Circle of Trust, okay? I'm just dressing it up as something wrestling because I'm a wrestling fan, and I want to force Johnny to have to play wrestling things on the show. That's mostly what this is. Johnny judges me, and so I get petty and force him to do wrestling things on the show.
Makes sense.
So right now we're playing the music of our tribal chief Roman Reigns and asking, are these players on or off the Island of Relevancy, Cam? We'll start off with the Nostros, the AAA squad that's making up half the Major League roster right now. Yesterday, yesterday Sean and I did some with the Texans with the offensive line. Spoiler alert, there was only one offensive lineman on the Island of Relevancy. We also did the receiving group. Only Nico Collins. Well, I take that back. 3 people. Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, and Jaden Higgins all made the Island of Relevancy. Everyone else, access denied to them. All right. Right now, again, Nostros, the AAA guys. Are these guys on or off the Island of Relevancy, Cam? First, we'll start with Taylor Trammell. On or off the Island of Relevancy?
Ooh. He's played well for what he's had to do, so I will say he is irrelevant to me.
Yes.
This is the Island of Relevancy.
I completely agree. He is on the Island of Relevancy. This guy is up to a point where, one, he's having to hit leadoff, which is crazy, but that's kind of where the Astros roster is at. But last I checked, which was before last night, so I don't know if it's changed, but his OPS was over 800. It was actually even with Jose Altuve at that point, both at 807. Like, he's not only playing well because he has to play, but he's actually playing well. So
848 OPS.
848 OPS
at this
right
moment,
now?
848.
Wow. Yeah, so Taylor Trammell definitely on the Island of Relevancy. All right, next up, Cooper Hummel. I think we should 3-2-1 this one because it's obvious.
I would like to pummel Hummel.
Okay, it's actually not a bad joke. All right, 3-2-1. Access denied.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, get him out of here. You're not on the.
You're not allowed.
No, relevant.
Go back to the mainland.
That's an island joke.
I guess, yeah.
I see what you're doing there. All right, next one on this list. I think we're going to know which way we vote on this one, too. But Zach Shorts, the backup infielder that most often playing short playing short. Get it?
I do.
I know. I didn't know that one would go over your head. Short King reference, but
and of course not. You
got an unbelievable range.
Being a fellow short, I understand. You know what? I don't like his walk to strikeout ratio, but again, for what he's had to do, he can.
No, come on, we can't let him on the Island of Relevancy. He's got to be one of the first people sent down when people start getting healthy, right? Well, Cooper Hummel's the first guy, but
he plays third.
Do you want him to play third, though?
I mean, if we're not going to have Paredes.
Okay, my vote is not on the Island of Relevancy. Your vote?
Can I meet you in the middle and say he has a temporary pass to the island?
Okay, you know what? Let him on. Temporary pass, Johnny.
This is the Island of Relevancy.
Very temporary. This is not a full season pass. No. It will be revoked at some point. All right, I'm fine with that. Next up, Shea Whitcomb.
Oh.
I mean, access.
Sorry.
Yeah, access denied.
I wish I could say yes, but you have,
yeah. Get your ass off the island.
Sorry,
you're not welcome here. As Cam would say, get back to the mainland.
Yeah,
you're
get out of
here. You're not an islander. Stupid Shea Whitcomb. Go hit your home runs at Sugarland. All right, next up on the list. Oh, well, this one is unfortunate. I had this on the list before the injury, though. Brandon Walter.
Oh, man.
I mean, he's on, but he's in the medical room, right? Like, yes. He's on, but he's not being able to participate with everyone else in the games on the Island of Relevancy. He's having to wait in the medical area.
Yeah, he's chilling in the medical area,
infirmary
while
or
everybody else
yeah.
is cracking coconuts on the beach.
But all right, you're on the island relevancy, Brandon Walter.
This is the island of relevancy.
You better have the same answer for me as me, I think, on at least 3 of the next 4. Certainly with this one. Ryan Gusto. On or off the island relevancy?
He's Gus to go?
God, you surprise. You know what? I'll give you credit for this. Just when I think you've run out of terrible dad puns, you surprised me.
I always got some dad stuff in my pocket.
You know what? Is this a safe space? Can I admit something here?
Please.
Okay. I was trying to think of a way to dad pun his way into No Me Gusta. No Me Gusto. No Me Gusto.
That would have been nice.
All right. Well,
nice.
we'll workshop it. We'll get there. Either way, access denied, Johnny.
Access
We should work for Hallmark.
denied.
Well, are people buying cards anymore?
Oh, by the way, I don't want him on my island.
Yeah, no, obviously.
Access denied.
Colton Gordon. I mean, he's got to at least get a temp pass, right? We need him. We need bodies right now. We're running out of bodies to put on the island of relevancy.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a 4 or 5 year rate. He's serviceable for now, but temporary. Temp pass.
This is the island of relevancy.
It's like you're allowed, but you don't get all the.
Yeah, you don't get you don't have gold level privileges.
Yeah,
you're like a silver card member.
Yeah,
yeah.
You're like the streaming site where you still have ads.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he is. That's what Colton Gordon is. I like it. All right, I think the next 2 are pretty obvious here. Jason Alexander.
To be honest, no, and I can only
vote him off. Access denied.
I keep thinking of the actor.
Denied.
Yeah, American Pie. That's literally what I.
Wait, hold on. You're thinking of Jason? That's Jason Biggs.
No, the one in American Pie, isn't his last name Alexander?
No, Jason Alexander's the actor from Seinfeld.
Even more irrelevant then.
Is Cam Smith the only one in America that hasn't been making George Costanza jokes with Jason Alexander?
Then he's even more irrelevant. So no, he can't even get on the boat to go near the ocean.
Okay, Johnny, am I alone in my amazement that Cam Smith is the only one in America not making George Costanza jokes?
Oh, no, not at all.
All right. Yeah, you're thinking of Jason Biggs was an American Pie.
I
different
apologize.
person.
Yeah,
different person. Man,
he could come on the island.
Did you never watch Seinfeld?
Oh yeah, I watched so many of that one episode.
So no, I think the answer is no there, John. All right, last one. Are we voting them on or off the island relevancy? Again, I think a pretty easy answer here. John Singleton.
I want to say no, but the determination of this guy to stay in the league and continue to make his way back up to the Astros.
Come on. He's not getting back to the Astros because of grit and determination. He's getting out because they have 18 guys on the IL. They're running out of bodies.
He's the boat driver. He's allowed to come, hang out.
He's the Uber driver for the island of relevancy?
Yes.
Okay. You know what?
He serves
John
a purpose.
Singleton, you're our Uber driver to and from the island.
Exactly.
This is the island of relevancy.
We'll allow him to visit the gift shop once he drops passengers off, but then he's got to get off the island again.
Yeah. Not relevant, but serves a purpose.
Yes. Let's go quickly. We'll go quickly through this. Just give me in or out on these old running backs in fantasy. Now, Mixon was on this list, but let's skip past Mixon because that's kind of a TBA at this TBD at this point. Derrick Henry.
Yes.
All right.
He's my keeper, actually.
He's on the island, Johnny. CMC.
Oh, man, that's tricky. Yeah.
It sounds like you're not really a believer in CMC. Like we've seen this before where with Carolina he was hurt like back-to-back years. And then he pop up with like RB1 after that.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much value, but there's such high risk. It's just kind of
going lower than he typically does, but not so low as to take away if he's there in the second round, it's no doubt.
Absolutely.
But yeah. First round, I think definitely inside the top 6. I would say no. After that, and I would have to see. All right, let's get past a couple of these. I think would be obvious, like Saquon's obvious. Alvin Kamara. You still in on Alvin Kamara?
Absolutely.
All right.
And I don't care that he only gets 900 rushing yards. It's the fact that he can get like 12 catches a game.
There was that one game he went like 13 catches for 30 yards with Derek Carr.
Give me those PPR points.
Okay, I'll group a couple of these together because I think the answer will probably be the same on both. But James Conner and Aaron Jones. You can either accept both of them or deny both? You're not separating them out.
For where I've been seeing them go in mock drafts, yes.
Yeah, I mean, access granted. You're on the island.
This is the island of relevancy.
David Montgomery, last one.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
It works in Detroit.
Yeah,
it works
I
in
think
Detroit.
so too. I do worry a little bit that without Ben Johnson, they scored less points, which means less goal line carries for David Montgomery. That's kind of his bread and butter because he's not a super, super high volume guy because of the split with Gibbs. So I do worry there's a little regression, but he's still, I think, worth a pick there. All right, that'll do it for the Island of Relevancy. David Montgomery, you're on the Island of Relevancy. When we get back here on ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5, and it's time for the leftovers, the things we haven't had time to get to or couldn't make up a whole segment, including some beefs in the media. We got Cam Newton versus Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky, and we also have Shaq taking some shots at Rudy Gobert. That when the Bullpen returns, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back into the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, John Belmer with you here for about another 44 minutes. Yeah, roughly. And we'll be back next week. I believe Sean will join us next week because he's obligated to come up to the studio for a producer meeting. So I think we get a visit from Sean A. Mapes next week here on the Bullpen. Mount Rushmore Plus One coming up next segment. But right now, our leftover segment with some of the stories we hadn't had a chance to get to or maybe weren't big enough to take up an entire segment. But have you heard about this beef right now that Cam Newton's having with Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky of ESPN?
I have heard some of it.
So if you didn't know the reason why, Johnny, we'll play our first clip here. Cam Newton, like everyone in America who covers or follows sports right now during July, are coming up with their top 10 lists for different positions. Cam Newton, no different. In this first clip, Cam Newton, almost said Cam Smith. Cam Newton gives out his top 10 NFL quarterbacks right now.
The best quarterback in the NFL right now, drum roll please, Josh Allen. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 5, Matthew Stafford. Number 6, Jared Goff. Number 7, Jaden Daniels. Number 8, CJ Stroud. 9, Justin Herbert and Baker Mayfield.
Now, if you're keeping track at home, there is a name left off that list that I think people are going to have a problem with, that being Jalen Hurts, the guy that just won the Super Bowl.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts not on the list, and that was a source of contention from, well, pretty much everybody that saw what Cam Newton put out there, but specifically Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky have taken shots at Cam Newton. Apparently felt this was getting personal and decided to play. Well, okay, it did get personal because people were making like jokes and references to that time that Cam Newton declined to try to pick up a fumble in the Super Bowl against the Broncos. You remember that?
I do.
People were bringing that up, and Cam Newton not happy about those comments, specifically from Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky, decided to play a yeah-but game with his career versus their career. Let's hear the audio, Johnny.
Ryan Clark. Okay, let's pull up your stats. Second team All-SEC. We cannot relate. Undrafted in 2002. We cannot relate. Then you have one Pro Bowl in 2011. We cannot relate. So if you want to unlock Petty Cam, and everything that Cam Newton has ever said on this 4th and 1 show has always been backed by merit and logic, but some way, shape, form, people keep attacking Cam, the person, or why he didn't jump on the fumble, why he didn't do this, or comparing and contrasting. So when I compare and contrast you guys' statistics and Dan Orlovsky, never mind. But as we keep going and we keep unlocking and keep poking the bear, and y'all want to play this game.
I honestly, Cam Newton's petty game might be better than his football game, or at least his Patriots Cam Newton. He's better being petty than he was a quarterback.
We cannot relate.
Yeah, we cannot relate. Yeah, we need that as a drop. We need that drop going forward. But I loved how Now, I think, one, it was a little ridiculous how much he refers to himself in the first person. That was a little bit ridiculous. On top of that, if you've seen the video, obviously you remember Cam Newton's press conference game. He looks like a NASCAR driver, but from Brooklyn, because of like the hat and the glasses. Like, he looks like he's in Brooklyn, but he's got this jacket on with like a huge M&M's logo, like he's a NASCAR driver. But I loved how petty he got there, even if I thought I get being mad that they brought up the fumble, although you probably should have gone after the fumble, bro. Like, I mean, take the L on that one. There's a fumble. It's the Super Bowl. Try to pick it up. So maybe go ahead and take the L on that. But I get why that would maybe bother him, that they took it personal. But I enjoy the pettiness, but it was kind of funny how quickly Cam Newton took that personal instead of
we cannot relate.
Instead of debating the point, bringing up Ryan Clark's Pro Bowls. We cannot relate.
That was the best part, though. We cannot relate.
We cannot relate.
We cannot relate.
I think my favorite part was that it got to Dan Orlovsky. Never mind. like his career is
didn't even have to bring him up.
Yeah,
but did.
Yeah, it's like he could have brought up him running out of the back of the end zone. Obviously, the RIP to your microphone just falling there. I like the shot that basically your career is so insignificant that it's not even worth bringing up your stats like he did with Ryan Clark. Like I'll petty cast that Ryan Clark only made one Pro Bowl, or that where he was drafted or whatever. But with you, it's like, you don't even matter.
Did Cam even have like a?
Cam have what?
I mean, I guess he had a pretty good decent career. Yeah.
Oh, come on, Cam.
Yeah.
Come on. He was an NFL MVP. Of course, he had a good.
No, I know. It just. I guess I'm just. I need to think back to the earlier years.
The end of his career sucked, but like as a rookie, he threw for 4,000 yards. He won an NFL MVP. Like
he was a Pro Bowler that year too.
Yeah, no, he definitely had a good career. It was always a career I felt like was never going to win a Super Bowl, because he won games more so on being the best athlete on the field than he did being a good passer, and that showed up in the Super Bowl. But
too many turnovers.
Yeah, too many turnovers.
Too many turnovers.
Yeah, he always seemed to leave the ball high. Like his mechanics weren't always that great, but that was fun listening to the pettiness there with Cam Newton going after Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky. All right, moving on to another petty beef. I knew that Shaq hated Rudy Gobert, because I think everybody hates Rudy Gobert, unless maybe he's on your team. But even then,
I would never.
Even then, I think people still hate Rudy Gobert. I think they even hated him before he tried to give the entire world COVID by like kissing microphones at the start of the pandemic. But let's hear about why Shaq hates Rudy Gobert.
I hate Rudy Gobert.
Why don't you like Rudy?
Because that motherfucker making $250. You don't deserve it, dog. As the president of the Big Man Lions, you making big money. Play like a big man.
Right.
That's it. Play like a big man. Throw some bowls, knock some people out. Don't be letting little white dudes from Denver dunk on you and talk to you. Then you got to grab them by the neck at the last second. Come on, bro. That's it. If you're going to get paid big money, play big.
I just want Shaq to still be on TV when Rudy gets into the Hall of Fame because it's going to.
If Rudy Gobert gets into the Hall of Fame.
Into the Hall of Fame.
If Rudy Gobert gets to the Hall of Fame, I'll wear this dress to the motherfucking ceremony. Okay?
Oh, I love it because Rudy Gobert, did you just look up his contract?
No, I just looked at. They pulled up an actual dress.
Oh yeah, no.
I was like, what dress could they
that's...
possibly make that Shaq could fit? And well, hell,
no,
there it is.
There's a dress there. Yeah, there's a dress there. But yeah, man, Rudy Gobert, like basically, obviously, the implication there from Shaq is Rudy Gobert plays soft, and I don't think anyone would argue with that. Like a part of that is perception because he's from France. But it's backed up with how he plays. I know he gets a lot of blocks, but
that French.
He just plays like a little bee at times. Like he's soft. He doesn't have a good physical post game. He seems to be more talk than he is physical. Like Shaq's like throw some bows sometimes. Like I think it's pretty easy to be annoyed with the way Rudy Gobert plays.
Yes, but is he still going to be in the Hall of Fame? Because remember, Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
it doesn't
I
have the same
sure.
threshold.
Right. It has the low of the three major sports. It has the lowest threshold because it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame, which is why Yao Ming is in. Even though I loved Yao Ming, if it was just an NBA or if it had the same standards as Major League Baseball or the NFL, Yao Ming's career would not have got him into those Hall of Fames. So I don't know. Like, how many times has he been the Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert? Like 3, 4. Oh God, yeah.
He's gonna get in.
He's probably gonna get in.
Shaq's gonna wear that dress.
I will watch that. I will watch that when Shaq decides to put on that dress to the Hall of Fame. All right.
I mean, if his career finishes out how it is, 13 points and 12 rebounds, and he's basically Defensive Player of the Year every other year, he's gonna get in.
He won't get in because of those averages. He'll get in because I don't know how many players have won Defensive Player of the Year 4 times, period. He might be one of one, but even if he's not, I imagine everyone that's won the award that amount of times has gotten into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be interested to know how many players who have won it twice have not gotten into the Hall of Fame. It can't be many. We'll do that research later. Don't worry about it. Let's hear more. No, don't do it, Cam. We don't care that much. There's no way to know, as John Granado would say. No, there's no way to know.
Anybody else besides Gobert?
Yeah, we're not gonna research. No, screw that. All right, more from Shaq.
Screw the French.
A pretty hot take from Shaq. He says if you basically swapped Kobe from his Lakers teams with T-Mac, they'd win the same amount of titles. Let's hear from Shaq.
T-Mac made a statement the other day, and I'm going to answer after you guys answer. He said, if you switch him and Kobe out, as far as playing with me, the outcome is the same. You agree or disagree?
No, you're not just saying you switching out with Kobe and you're going to be what Kobe was. That's not, you make nothing away from T-Mac. Great player. Oh, you not Kobe. Yeah. And that mentality too.
I might have to disagree.
I don't know though. You know what my difference mine is though, big fella, is the mentality. Like that killer mentality, everybody didn't have that. Like he was a great player, don't get me wrong. But it was times that Mike and Kobe, I felt like that Mike gave Kobe something that nobody else would be able to even imitate and be able to like have that mentality. A lot of players no other players had it really.
I agree with you saying, but you don't think I could have won 3 with T-Mac? I think I could have.
I think Shaq almost took that as a point of pride that they could have put anybody next to him and he won a title.
Yeah,
it almost seemed like that's where Shaq was coming from more than a slant against Kobe.
I don't think he was saying that T-Mac was better than Kobe.
I definitely don't think he was saying that. I think he was saying that he was so good that even if T-Mac is 85%, 90% of Kobe, that they still would have won a title.
Which I honestly, I think I'd be. And the thing too,
I don't think they would have won 3. I think they could have won. So they won 3 in a row against there was the Sixers, the Nets, and the Pacers. That back to back titles. I think it was 2000, 2001, 2002. They were. I think what actually makes his argument is who they face actually in the finals. Like my argument would be more about getting to the finals.
Yeah.
Because they barely beat the Kings that one year, and it had to have some help from the referees to get past the Kings that one year in that 7-game Western Conference Finals. But once they got to the finals, like against the Pacers, the Sixers, and the Nets, I think they lost 3 games combined in those 3 NBA Finals. Like, I think they could have beat those 3 teams with T-Mac. But man, like I think there's something to what the Morris twins were saying about the mentality for Kobe, which is why I don't know if they get out of the Western Conference each time. Because I mean, part of it wasn't just that Kobe averaged 25, because McGrady could get you 25
easy.
It's not just the 5 rebounds or the 4 assists or whatever it was, because T-Mac could get you that, but it's the heroics in the clutch moments, in the crunch times, in the fourth quarter. Kobe had what Michael had, that killer instinct, like get out of my way, or I'm gonna knock you the bleep out. I'm gonna make this shot. I don't think T-Mac had that, so I don't know if they win 3 titles having to go all the way through, but in those 3 specific matchups of Nets, Pacers, Sixers, I do think they still beat those teams.
Yeah, and also there was an interview with Kobe years ago where he said he thought T-Mac was a better basketball player than himself.
Kobe said that?
Kobe said that about T-Mac.
Specifically, like just basketball skill?
Like for his height, his weight, and his skill, Kobe said that T-Mac was a better player, but to that point, Kobe had Kobe's not going to come out and be like, "Oh, my mentality is better than T-Mac." But that shows you that even Kobe thinks that athletically T-Mac was better than him, but nobody had the mentality that Kobe had.
Yeah, that's why I don't think they ultimately would have won all 3 of those titles, because again, like I still do think that Shaq could have won at least one, especially given who the NBA Finals matchups. Like I think even with let's say T-Mac is 90% of Kobe Bryant, I think they still could have beat the Pacers, the Nets, and the 76ers. But especially against the Kings, I forget what year in that three-peat the Kings faced them when they went to Game 7 and got screwed by the refs. That Kings team was nasty, with Chris Webber, with Vlade, with Mike Bibby, Bobby Jackson, Peja Stojakovic,
good old C-Web.
Hidu Turkoglu. Like that roster was. I mean, Rick Adelman is the coach. That was a nasty roster. I don't think they get past specifically that series against the Kings when they went to 7 games if you subbed in T-Mac instead of Kobe. So for that reason, I disagree with Shaq, although I do think they could beat, again, saying for the 3rd or 4th time now, they could have specifically beaten their NBA Finals matchups those years.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting point. I mean, an interesting point by Shaq.
Yeah, because like in the T-Mac conversation, because I think part of what we keep talking about is like the mentality difference. Yeah. We can't look. I know T-Mac. You could say injuries. I mean, he was on a team with Yao, and Yao would get hurt. Like there was a lot of circumstances around why this was the case, but you still can't say, in my opinion, that he could have done what Kobe did when T-Mac didn't get his first playoff series win until he was a role player in the Spurs.
And unfortunately, he couldn't stay healthy either.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, T-Mac, until he got to the point where he was just a role player, he wasn't a star, he wasn't the first, second, third best player on the Spurs, never got a playoff series win until that moment. And not only did he not get a playoff series win, as the Magic, he was up 3-1. I forget who they were playing. They were up 3-1 in a series when he was on the Magic. They lost that series. The back-to-back, or then when he gets the Rockets in 2005, they win the first 2 games in Dallas. They go on the road in a 7-game series, win the first 2 games in Dallas, and still lose that series, including Game 7 by 40. Then back-to-back years, they have home court advantage against the Jazz. They lose both those series. Like, you can't be up at 3-1 and blow it, go up 2-0 on the road, blow it, and then lose back-to-back home court advantage series against the Jazz, and then have me say, well, you could have done what Kobe did. Like, he clearly, whatever it is that Kobe had, T-Mac didn't have it.
Which is why, to this day, people put Kobe and Michael as arguably 2 of the greatest players to ever play. Not just because of what they physically could do.
T-Mac's on a lower tier. Yeah. That's basically the gist of it. We have time for one more, Johnny. Let's play the Joe Burrow thing. So I actually agree with this take. It's pretty quick from Joe Burrow. So I think, we have time for it. I'm curious if you guys will also agree with this take from Joe Burrow. Go ahead and play it, Johnny.
Not really. I don't like boats like that.
Oh, go ahead and kill it. Sorry, kill it. Let me set this up better. That's on me. Don't worry. That's on me. So you can't hear it in the audio because the quality was bad. So I cut it off. But Joe Burrow was asked by a teammate if he likes going out on a boat. All right, go ahead and play it.
Not really. I don't like boats like that. If you go on a boat, you're committed. Like, you're there for hours. Like, I like a boat for like 45 minutes, but then after 45 minutes, I'm like, okay, like I've seen it all. We're on the water. Like, I get it.
Wow.
I 100%.
It's a great take.
I know. See, okay, Johnny.
No, not really.
No, okay, well, it's 3 against 1. We're on the side of Joe Burrow. You're on the side of, well, yourself. So I think 3-1 wins, right? Is my math right there, Johnny? 3-1 wins?
Yeah.
I think 3-1 wins.
3 is bigger
you're
than
outvoted. You're off the island of relevancy, Cam.
But he.
Access denied.
I feel like he. What am I trying to say? Like he argued his own point because at first he was like, if you're on a boat, you're out there for hours, and then he brings up 45 minutes on a boat. So it's just kind of like.
How did he argue against himself?
Because he's talking about how if you're on a boat, you're out there for hours, but then he's like, but I can do a boat for 45 minutes. Well, then
No,
obviously
you didn't hear what he said. So he said that like he's saying most boat trips last multiple hours, right?
Yes.
But at the 45-minute mark, he's done. That's what he's
okay.
saying.
That's his line.
Yeah, that's his line.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, some people don't like.
Like I think unless you're an avid fisherman, then I think this is a pretty good take. Like if you're an avid fisherman, then yeah, you want to be on the boat.
Or if you're on $1 million yacht.
No, that changes things. I mean, that changes things.
That's a boat?
It is a boat, but you know,
Boats
there's so much to do on a yacht where you wouldn't even necessarily see the water. Like I think this has to be a smaller vessel.
Is that what he's referring to as just like a little fishing vessel?
I don't think. Well, he hasn't specified, but I would have taken this as like a kind of a mid-tier boat, a boat that's big enough to cruise around on in the open water, but not one that you would. Not a yacht. Yeah, not a yacht.
I mean, I get his point, but also that is essentially the point of a boat, to go out on the water, relax.
It is, but I think that's part. Like, man, we really.
That's just not where he wants to be.
Yeah,
yeah, that's fine.
Like, depends on what your interests are. Like, if you're really into fishing, it makes sense. Or if you want to go out and like water ski, that makes sense. But like, if you're just like hanging out, you know, having a drink, it's like, okay, 45 minutes go by. Like, all right, I've relaxed. I've had 3 drinks by now. Like, let's go back. Like, the water looks this. The water for the next 2 hours is going to look the same it did as the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not mad at his
Yeah,
take.
I like the take.
I prefer.
I think it's a pretty good one.
I like boats. I like being on the water.
You like? Oh, let's see. Oh, we got a text coming in. Let's see if this is on. Oh no, he's going back to the Kobe thing. He asked 2341. How old are you? Did you watch the series? What do you mean getting screwed about the referee? Like, go watch Game 7 of Kings and Lakers. I mean, Tim Donaghy got dragged into that at one point. Like,
Isn't he the ref that went to prison?
He is the ref that went to prison. Did he go to prison? I know he's obviously in trouble because of the. Anyway, the refereeing in that series, specifically Game 7, was pretty shady. I'll just leave it there. Like, we're not going to go whistle by whistle for the final 5 minutes or whatever, and go call by call on what was not a great call. But I think the Kings were the better team that series and just got a little bit unlucky with the calls from the referees. But even if you think that game was well officiated, it was still a 7-game series, and if we think T-Mac is not as good as Kobe, which I think is pretty obvious, then you could still say, even without bad officiating, that the Kings would have beat that if you subtract Kobe, put in T-Mac. But anyway, that's belaboring the point.
15 months in prison.
15. Oh, he did?
He did
Okay.
some prison
All right.
time.
Mount Rushmore +1 on the other side of the break. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Welcome in, Houston, to the best part of your weekend. Welcome into Mount Rushmore Plus One, the award-winning, groundbreaking segment that's forever changed the sports radio landscape. And we'll get Cam, John, myself, Sean Mapes, even AJ Russ, who was on the show yesterday, did Mount Rushmore Plus with us, into the Texas Radio Hall of Fame in far less than the 27 years it took those bums, John and Lance, to get into the Texas Radio Hall of Fame. Can I tell you how nervous I was to do that bit yesterday?
How nervous were you?
Thank you, Johnny Carson. I was more nervous because I felt it was like the odds of John and Lance hearing me say that went up, I think, substantially doing it on a Friday than on a Saturday.
Yeah, that was a little risky.
I still did it. But I think I kind of also kind of weaseled like, this is just a bit. Don't hurt me.
You put yourself out there.
I
There's
know.
nothing
Well,
wrong with
yeah,
that.
put my neck out there to get cut.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't want to go with the Godfather. All right, Mount Rushmore Plus One time. I'll go ahead and kick us off. So as you guys know, we did a bit on the show a few weeks ago where I picked my college football team. By the way, a little update: the James Madison Dukes. Undefeated right now, 12-0 regular season. We're Canada. I don't know how that relates to James Madison, but I like it. I like where your head's at, Johnny.
I would hope on the freshman level that's where you would be.
No, I'm not playing on freshman level. You kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. Are you kidding us?
What are you talking about?
I think he's questioning your ability to play the game.
You want to play? You want to have a game? Do you even have the game?
No.
What are we talking about here? Jeez. No.
May I ask what level you play on?
It's I forget what it's called. It's the level right below Heisman.
Ooh, oh, okay.
So that's, I would play on Heisman, but it's a league with 7 other people, so, you know.
That's pretty impressive with a team that 3/4 of the country has never heard of.
Yeah, the James Madison Dukes. But, yeah, we're 12-0. I got a win against Josh Beard in the regular season. That was my only user game. We will rematch in the Conference USA Championship game, even though unfortunately, because Tulane is also undefeated out of a different conference and ranked like 5 spots higher than me, even if I beat Josh in our rematch for the Conference USA title, I don't know if it'd be good enough to get me in the college football playoff. Unfortunately, your microphone's struggling. All right, enough of that. So I bring that up because my list for Mount Rushmore Plus One this week is related to college football 26 because it's some of the best randomized names that I've seen come up during college football 26. These are all real names that were on college football 26.
Player names.
Terrific. Yeah. Because obviously, every time a recruiting class comes up, they have to, generate hundreds, if not thousands, of names.
Oh, this is great.
And people take screenshots and put them on the internet. I've got a list of like 12. Like I could do so many lists with this, and there's way more. One of them, Russell Westbrooks, plural. So I guess that means he's better than Russell Westbrook.
That's great.
I don't know, but yeah, that was a player that I saw out there in the transfer portal. Russell Westbrooks with an S on the end. Another player I really wanted to get my hands on him, but unfortunately did not land him as a commit. Jason Bourne was available.
Oh,
yeah, Jason Bourne. That would have been good. That would have been real good. I would have liked to have Jason Bourne and Russell Westbrooks on my team. 3 more. I have such a hard time not only deciding which ones to go with because there's so many, but also which ones I could say on air because some of them are little
say whatever
risky.
You want, B-Mac.
No, see, now you're just trying to trip me up, John. You're trying to get me fired. Did Granado put you up to this after I called him a bum on Friday and today?
Us Johns stick together.
This reminds me of the Key and Peele bit with the
kind
the
of.
names.
Although these are more. Yeah,
these are real.
Well, they're so fake. I mean, they're
real in the game.
Yeah, they're real in the game. All right, I'm gonna combine these two because they have the same last name. Maybe they're brothers. Max Tongue and Tommy Tongue.
Tongue.
Yeah, Tongue. Yeah, their last name Tongue. First name, one of the guys is named Max. The other one's Tommy.
Are they popular with the ladies?
Well, remains to be seen. Depends on how they.
Are they a 5-star recruit?
I don't remember their level. I mean, they should be.
Great.
They should be. I mean, they should be. A few more names on here. Christian, spelled with a K, so Kristian. Christian, last name Virgin. Christian Virgin.
It's better than Tongue.
That takes it so far.
I mean, at least it fits the branding, right?
Did he play for BYU?
He should play for BYU. Yeah, it should play for BYU. Let's see which more. Which other ones I want to read here. Another one on here. Deacon Priest.
Okay.
I hope he plays for like Incarnate Word or something. Like he's got to play for a school with a religious background.
I hope he's like a nasty like edge player too.
Yeah. Getting up doing like really provocative sack celebrations. Deacon priest. Yeah. How many did I name there? That's 4. I got so many. All right, one more on here. This one's just easy. And actually, there's actually is a real life player with a name kind of similar to this. That being, I think was it Jake Booty? Or no, General Booty. Remember
Booty.
the quarterback, General Booty?
Yeah.
Well, he's got competition from a player I saw on the game named Major Butt. Major Butt.
2 T's?
2 T's.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
2 T's. Yeah, 2 T's.
That game is unhinged.
Yeah. No, trust me. I'll tell you some more in the break. I really
Okay.
don't know if I could say all of these, but some of these names are unbelievable. Cam, you're Mount Rushmore +1.
My Mount Rushmore +1 actually comes from a incident that occurred earlier today before I got to work.
The gate at your apartment complex not open again?
Actually, please don't jinx that because we've had issues recently. Yes. Mine is the worst people based off just like small petty stuff.
Okay.
So the incident that occurred was a gentleman was walking his dog without a leash. And
You're not really walking the dog at that point.
You're right.
Not to be technical,
he was
but
strolling
yeah,
with his
you're
dog.
walking. I mean, the dog wants to run off. He's going to run off.
It's not so much not having it on the leash. It's the fact that his dog then runs up, and it's a smaller dog. But my dog is very like protective. Like she's a pit mix, so she's very like already high strung and like, energetic and guarding me. So she doesn't like when dogs run up on me. So it's the fact that this dog was not on a leash, ran up to me, and then my dog kind of got into like defense mode. And then the guy was like, "Hey, check your dog." And it's just like, "Hey, my dog's on a leash."
Right.
Protecting me.
Your dog's creating a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
not
little
mine.
ass dog is off of a leash running towards my dog.
Yeah. No,
So
you're in the right there.
I hate when people do that. Like, just put your dog on a leash, especially when you're in Midtown and you're off major streets. It's just like, do you not think that dog can't run across the street?
Yeah, some people have just a crazy belief that their animals like would never do something random or against what they wanted to do, which is odd because they're still an animal. Yeah. Anyway,
if my dog sees a squirrel, it doesn't matter where we're at.
Yeah.
She's trying to dart at that thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So your Mount Rushmore +1?
That's
So your Mount Rushmore +1 is related to this?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Because that's the first incident. So
okay.
Dog walkers with no leash. The next one is people that go to the grocery store or any place that has shopping carts and just leaving it in a parking spot.
Yeah, especially since it's a lot. I'll see it sometimes. It's literally like three spaces over. It's like, come on, man, how lazy are you?
When you go to H-E-B, there's literally like 5 places on each aisle to put your cart, and there people would literally just leave it 5 feet away. And
I know, like some places I'll go to, it's like every 6 or 7 like parking spots, there's a return.
Yeah.
Like we're not talking about we're talking about walking what 30 feet?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So lazy.
Another store one. When people, I haven't done it to this extreme, but when people go to the 10 item or less self-checkout and they have 30 items.
Yeah.
Now, sure, have I done 12 or 13 items? Yes. 30, 20, I hate you.
I would throw them in jail for that.
So much.
I would throw them in
hate
jail
you so
for
much.
that.
Especially when you have 15 other aisles.
There's
There's
always such an entitlement to those people because like I don't know if you've ever said something. I have. They always give you like what businesses of it are yours? Like, well, the whole reason we're here is because we're at a point where we're trying to get through quickly. You're not purchasing an order that's a get through quickly order. Like you're not entitled to slow us down just because you want to quote unquote skip the line. Like
exactly.
You're basically that's what you're doing. You're skipping the line.
You're creating more lines.
Yeah.
When you don't have to. Yeah, I hate those.
We live in a society, people.
Exactly.
Continue. Sorry.
People on their phone during a movie.
And I thought you were going to say in a restroom, which is also annoying to me.
Oh, I don't mind.
No, well,
I don't care to hear your conversation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't care if you're looking at Twitter or whatever while you're pooping, whatever. I'm talking about having the loud conversation on the phone.
Or they're like on speakerphone.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And it doesn't. I don't and I'm not talking about people that like talk on their phone, because I don't think I've actually ever seen people talk on their phone during a movie.
I had that happen once. Can I tell you?
Please.
When the first Aquaman came out, like the Jason Momoa Aquaman's not anything. I don't know if there's any Aquamans before that. Anyway, when the first Aquaman came out, my wife and I were sitting at the very top of the theater we were at, and there was this group of like 4 or 5 people, like 2 like middle-aged women. I can't remember who else was with them. But literally, no joke, this has happened obviously a long time. This was pre-COVID. I still remember the exact wording this lady said. Her phone goes off, full ringtone. Wasn't even like it was on silent and vibrate and she picked it up. So it goes off full ringtone, which is strike 1. She picks it up instead of silencing it in whatever. That's strike 2. She answers the phone. She says, "No, I'm not busy. What's up?"
Oh, hell no.
What the are you talking about? You're at
I see why you go to 10 o'clock movies now.
Well, it's also why I sit as far up as I possibly can without being uncomfortable. Because if I'm at the very back of the theater, everyone in the theater that gets on their phone, any one person that gets on the theater, I see it.
Yeah.
If I'm in like the 3rd row, everyone behind me, it doesn't matter what they do, I don't see it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
No, so that, and it's mostly what I see is people granted, I've done it too. I've checked my phone, but I make sure that the light is dimmed all the way down. But there are people recently, a movie I went to, just checking their phone and the brightness
it's all the way up.
And I'm just
I get if you
like,
get an alert, especially if you have a kid or maybe it's a job that you have to glance at it.
True.
But if it's more than a glance, you should get up and leave.
Exactly.
You can glance at it. Okay, it's not important. Then you turn off the screen. If it is important, you get up.
Yeah.
That should be the rule.
And the final one is people that eat or drink half their order and then complain about it. Like, sir, you ate almost your entire meal, and now you're telling.
Some places have those policies where like they have to,
and they should. Because that is such a petty move.
Sorry, repeat that. I was looking at a text.
People that eat or drink half their order, then complain about it.
Oh, okay.
It's like you just scarf down 3/4 of your sandwich, and now you're saying you don't like it.
There's a Bob's Burgers episode where there's a scam. You guys ever watch that show?
Great show. I like when they crossed over with Archer.
Well, they didn't really cross over with Archer. It's just the same voice actor. Is that what you mean?
No.
What episode? I've watched every Bob's Burgers episode like 30 times.
There was like 2 or 3 episodes.
No.
I swear I was getting a tattoo when it happened.
Okay. Send it to me because I do not remember that at all. Like I know it's the same voice actor. John H. Benjamin voices both Archer and Bob Belcher. But no, there was an episode where there was a scammer who both at the burger place and at Jimmy Pesto's ate all but like the last bite of his meal and then complained that he found a hair in his food. So it kind of reminded me of that.
Okay, here it is.
All right, tell me about the crossover.
The title of the episode was Fugue and Riffs. In this episode, Archer suffers from amnesia and believes he is Bob Belcher, the owner of Bob's Burgers.
Oh, so it was an episode of Archer.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I thought you said it was a Bob's Burgers episode.
Oh, no, sorry.
Okay.
Archer, but it had
that's
it
why
had
I
Bob's
was
Burger in
doubting.
it, yeah.
I have not seen every Archer episode. I stopped after like season 4 or 5. Okay, I misunderstood there. Text in. We're going to go ahead and carry this to the end of the show here. Wasn't really enough time to go to break. So we got another, about 3 minutes here. Quickly, I'll read a text and then we'll get into what we love from sports and what our bet in our what the worst person in sports. From 1429, how long should a member of your dynasty be able to hold up the group? I feel like this might be someone in my dynasty, and I'm wondering if I'm holding up the group right now. Which I know when I left, I was clicked ready to advance. The person who was not was AJ. One day. Is that your answer? You're saying, oh, what is that, John? Just say it on air.
It's okay. I was giving you a 1 minute mark because we're really close to it, and you're.
Well, you said we were 54:50. My clock says 52:48.
It's 54:09 right now.
This clock is really off then. All right, well, let's get into what we love from sports and our worst person sports. We won't play the audio. We'll just talk about them here real quickly. Of course, and as I do that, my Google Doc app immediately crashes and starts to refresh. Oh, man, that is bad. All right, last minute here of the show, what we love from sports and our worst people in sports this week. My worst person in sports this week was the XFL for relocating markets, including Michigan, Birmingham, Memphis, and Houston. Houston will lose their XFL, well, now USFL team starting in 2026. Cam, who's your worst person?
To be honest, I don't have one.
All right, perfect.
It was a good week.
Let's go into what we love from sports this week. Oh, man, I wish we had time to play this audio. But go out and find Greg Olson talking about how hard he coaches up his Little League football team. He's going to talk about going out there and making sure the other players on the other teams he's facing, again, these are junior high kids, know that they could be living in an ambulance. The way he talks about it is so hardcore that's pretty funny. What'd you love in sports?
What I loved, and it doesn't seem like it would align with the best person. I love Jalen Green's comments about how, I love you, Houston, but next time I see you, I'm going to have to drop 35 on you.
All right, that'll do it for the bullpen. For Cam Smith, for John Belmer, I'm Brian McDonald. We'll be back next weekend. Have a great weekend, Houston.
I don't like boats like that. If you go on a boat, you're committed. Like, you're there for hours. Like, I like a boat for like 45 minutes, but then after 45 minutes, I'm like, okay, like, I've seen it all. We're on the water. Like, I get it.